Hello everyone. So in the previous session we have discussed the concept of statistics, statistical method in unit 4. So in this session let me start with unit 5. So totally, as I already told you, you have 5 units. First unit and fourth unit is completed. So let me start with the fifth unit. It is called as random variables and expectations. Random variables and expectations. Fine. Before explaining the concept of random variable, I'll give you one simple example that I have already discussed in the fourth lesson, that is in probability. So let me consider an event or a random experiment of tossing two coins. I'm going to toss two coins. Fine. So as I already told you, when you toss one coin, the only possibilities is, only outcomes will be either head or tail. That will be the sample space. That is, possible outcomes is none other than a sample space, right? Suppose if this is when you are going to toss one coin. Suppose if you are going to toss two coins, the possible outcomes will be head head, head tail, tail head, and tail tail. Right? So this is one of the random experiment of tossing two coins, and this will be the sample space. Right? Then we can discuss random variable with reference to this example. So let me take a random variable as x. So capital X will be the standard representation for a random variable. Suppose if x is given as number of heads with reference to this sample space, then let me make a list of that. So random variable, that is x with the first event, that is HH is one of the event in a sample space, that is both the heads. So how many heads are there? 2. Again, now x is number of heads, so number of heads in head tail, second one is 1. Similarly, number of heads, x is number of heads, so number of heads in tail head is also 1, right? Why? Because we have only one head here. Similarly, number of heads, x is none other than number of heads in tail is how many heads we have. Do we have any heads here? We don't have, so it is 0. Therefore clearly I can say a random variable in this case, in this particular example, is 0, 1, 2. These are the random variables. Anyhow, 1 is repeated twice. We are not going to consider it twice. We are going to write it only once. So random variable for this particular experiment or for this particular example is 0, 1 and 2. So from this example we can come to the conclusion that a variable whose values is determined by the outcomes of the random experiment. So see here, this is the random experiment, this is the outcomes, these are the variables. Fine. So the variable whose values are determined by the outcomes, these are the outcomes of this random experiment, such kind of variables is called as random variable. Clear? The variables whose values are determined from outcomes of the random experiment, such variables is called as random variable. Clear? Now there are two types of random variable. Fine. First one is discrete random variable and continuous random variable. Fine. I'll just give you an example in order to make this concept clear. Let me take an example of tossing a coin. I'll just consider a random events or a random experiment, and let me consider throwing a die. Throwing a die. And let us consider height of a student. Height of a student. Let us consider weight of a student. Fine. You can note that when you toss a coin, you will get either a probability of head or a probability of tail. When you throw a die, either you will get 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, right? So these are the only possibilities. You cannot get 1.5 when you throw a die. You cannot get 3.5 when you throw a die. You cannot get 4.5 or 5.2 or 1.2 when you throw a die. Let me consider height of a student. Height of a student may not be equal to whole number. Like some of the student may have a height of 4.6. Some of the student may have a height of 5.7. Similarly, when you're going to consider a weight of a student, some of the student may have a weight of like 42 kgs. Some other student may have 43.5 kgs. Right? From this you can note that when you throw a die, your only possibilities are integers. When you have a weight of a student, it consists of a decimal as well, right? So this kind of variable is called as discrete, in the sense a variable which takes only integer parts. It consists of only positive integer, that too positive integer. Fine. So a random variable which takes only positive integer, then it is called as discrete variable. So example will be throwing a die. And second one is continuous variable. Continuous variable in the sense a variable which takes decimal value along with the fraction value or integer value. See here we are going to consider height of a student. Here we can note that it consists of a decimal value, right? 4.6, 5.7, everything is a decimal. So a variable which consists of decimal is none other than a continuous variable. Continuous in the sense it consists of decimal as well. Discrete in the sense it consists of only positive integer. As you already familiar with integers, so if it consists only positive integer, see here 0, 1, 2, 3, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. These are the, it will goes up to infinity. These are the integer set. So among this, it consists of only positive integer. Then such kind of variables is called discrete variable. If it consists of all the positive integer along with the decimals. So decimals, when it consists of decimal, we say that is a continuous variable. So these are the types of the variable. Clear? Next is probability distribution. As you already learned this concept in your class 12, so I'll just explain the probability distribution with reference to this example only. So probability distribution in the sense, it is just with reference to a random variable. Since here I have listed the random variable 0, 1, 2. So we are going to make a table of a probability of these random variable. In the sense, if I am going to write the random variable for this particular example, it will be something like, see here we are going to list the what we say random variable in first column, that is x is none other than xi. In the sense, whatever the values we have in this set x, we are going to represent it with x1, x2, x3. Here x1 will be 0, x2 will be 1 and x3 will be 2. So x1 is here is 0, x2 is 1, x3 is 2. Fine. So x1, x2, x3, x1 is 0, x2 is 1, x3 is 2. So only 3 variables we have. So for these particular random variables, we are going to list a probabilities of this random variable. So we are going to list a probability of this random variable. This is none other than a probability distribution. Now probability of x in the sense probability of x1, that is probability of 0. Probability of 0 in the sense, what is 0 stands for? 0 is none other than number of tails here. Right? 0 is for number of tails. Total how many events are there? Total events are 4. Out of 4 events, what is the probability of getting tail is 1. It is 1 by 4. Right? So probability of distribution of 0 is 1 by 4. Similarly 1 is none other than probability of getting tail and head. So 1 is equal to probability of getting tail and head is also 1, plus probability of getting head and tail is also equal to 1. So you have to add both. Remember, you have to add both. Why? Because you have obtained 1 for both tail head and head tail. So probability of tail head in this is 1 divided by 4. Again, in this probability of head and tail is also 1 by 4. So you have to add both in order to obtain probability of 1. That is 2 divided by 4. 2 1s are 2 2s, it is 1 by 2. Similarly, 2 is a reference to head. Probability of getting headed in this particular example is 1. Right? So 1 by 4. Anyhow, this is none other than a probability distribution. You will understand well while solving the problems. So you just remember this. And we can say this is probability distribution only when it satisfies 2 conditions. Remember, first condition is that probability, when after calculation of probability of events, all the events should be positive. That is greater than or equal to 0. Fine. It should not be less than 0. In the sense, it should not be negative. And second condition is that when you're going to take a sum of all the events, probability of an event, whatever may be the values here, I value ranging from 1 to 3. Why? Because we have 3 random variables here. So 1, 2, 3. When you're going to take sum of all these variables, you should get 1. So probability distribution should satisfy these 2 conditions. Fine. So you just remember this. And again we have a formula. So here is a formula list. So this concept I have explained just now, discrete probability distribution. Anyhow, I'll send you these notes. And formula, coming to the formula list, this is the formula we used to calculate mean of a probability distribution. It is represented by mu. Is given by mu is equal to summation I xi into p of xi, that is probability of xi, and xi is a random variable. And second one is variance of a probability distribution. This is the formula to calculate mean, and this is the formula to calculate variance. It is given by v is equal to summation over I xi minus mu. Mu is another than a mean of a probability distribution into p of xi. At the same time, with reference to standard deviation, we can calculate variance as square of a standard deviation, and standard deviation is given by square root of a variance. One is connected to other. So this is the formula list you just need to remember. Fine, these are the basics. Next, let me solve a few problems on this concept. So here is the first problem. As usual, after copying this definition, I'll send you in the group. So first copy the definition, after that write down the heading problems. So it is one of the important problem. Copy the problem. 3 coins are tossed. A random variable x represents the number of heads turning up. Here the random variable x represents the number of heads turning up. Find the discrete probability distribution for x. And the second one, find its mean and variance. Just now I have given formula for mean and variance. You just go through this formula list. Mean is given by this formula and variance is given by this formula. As per the requirement, we are going to use these formulas. Anyhow, let me solve this problem. So first step, first let me go to the problem and let me identify the event here. Fine. So here 3 coins are tossed. As I already told you, you have to remember 2 concepts. That first one is whenever you are going to toss a coin, that is only one coin, or if you are going to toss a coin only once, the probability is either head or tail. You just write a note point in somewhere else of your notebook. Note point, first one is when you toss a coin one time, sample space consists of only head and tail. Fine. 2 coin or 2 times, both are same. 2 coins or 1 coin is tossing 2 times. Sample space will be either head or tail head or head tail or tail head. Fine. So similarly, when you toss 3 coins or when you toss 1 coin 3 times, one and the same. Fine. So if that was the case, probability will be, I'll just give you one blind method to remember this. You just write 4 times head and 4 times tail. Again you write 2 times head, 2 times tail. Head, head, tail, tail. Again head, tail, head, tail. Head, tail, head, tail. Fine. And these are the probability when you toss a coin 3 times or 3 coins are tossed. So head, 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 tail, head, tail, head, and then head, tail, tail, and then tail, head, head, and then tail, head, tail, and then tail, tail, head, tail, tail, tail. So there will be total 8 events. Here 8, here it is 4, here it is 2, here it is 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You just take a note of these points so that it will be easy for you to memorize. Fine. Now here is a problem. So here also 3 coins are tossed. Just now I have explained the concept of tossing a coin. So whenever you toss a 3 coin, then the sample space consists of, I'll just write the solution here. Since 3 coins are tossed, therefore I can write a sample space as, just now I have written a sample space, right? I am just copying the same. Head, 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 tail, head, tail, head, tail, head, 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 tail, 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 head, tail, head, tail, 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 tail. So these are the possible outcomes, that is sample space 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Fine. Now let me write the random variable now. What is the random variable given? Random variable x is, first what I have written is event, that is 3 coins are tossed. So I have written that event and the sample space with respect to it. Next I am going to write the random variable. Here the random variable is x. So it is given by random variable x is, it represents number of heads turning up. Number of heads turning up. See, number of heads turning up is same as getting a head. Fine. Number of heads turning up is none other than when you toss a coin, how many times you are going to get a head. That is what the random event is. Random variable is. Fine. So let me write the random variable here. Here I have listed the, sample space. So x is number of heads turning up, it is given in the problems. Now with reference to sample space, keep on writing the number of heads. In the first one, how many number of heads are there? 1, 2, 3. Next 1, 2. Next 1, 2. Next 1, 2. How many head is there? Only 1. Again only 1. Again only 1. We don't have any head, so it is 0. Now you just write down this, rewrite this random variable x so that there is no repetition, and you just write it in increasing order 0, 1, 2, 3. So these are the random variable. Clear? Next you have to find the probability distribution. So I have already explained probability distribution is another than it is a table consisting of a random variable with reference to probabilities. Fine. So let me write x. X is none other than all the xi values. So what are the xi values I have? 0, 1, 2, 3. So these are the xi values we have. Either you can write it in the last or you can write it in beginning. It is one and the same. But anyhow, for your simplification purpose and to memorize easy, I am just writing it at the beginning only. Probability of x I have to list. Now probability of x is none other than this is xi is none other than this is x1, x2, x3 and x4. Now we have to find probability of x. Here probability of x1 we have to find. Now probability of x1 is none other than x1 value is 0. Right? So probability of x1 is 0. x1 is 0 is none other than, what is the meaning of 0? Whenever x is 0. x0 meaning is number of heads turning up is 0. And meaning is there is no head. X is none other than, I'll just tell you once again, x is none other than number of heads turning up, or it is number of heads in a tossing of a coin. Now 0 meaning is there is no head. Fine. So x is equal to 0 is none other than no head. Now look at the sample space. 0 is with reference to tail, tail, tail. Right. So what is the total number of possibilities in sample space? Clearly it is 8. Right. So among 8, I'll just write one more line here so that you'll understand well. Probability of 0 is none other than it is with reference to tail, tail, tail. Why? Because we don't have head in these event, that is tail, tail, tail. So that is why I have written tail, tail, tail here. Now what is the probability of this event? Getting this event only once out of 8 event. Fine. So this will be the probability of x is equal to 0. I'll just substitute here. Tabulate here. Next x is equal to, x2 value is 1. That is we have to find probability of head where we have only one head. Fine. So one head is none other than, what are the one head possibilities here? You have 3. It is, see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 5, 6th, 7th event. It is just a blind method to memorize. See here, first event, second event, third event, fourth event, fifth event, sixth event, seventh event. So 5th, 6th, 7th event is only one head. See here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 5, 6, 7. Only these 3 events are having only one head. So probability of head, tail, tail. So you have to add all the events where we have only one head. Probability of tail, tail, head plus probability of tail, head, tail. So as I already told you, you have to add the events where we have only one head. So in all these 3 events, we have only one head. So what is the probability of getting this event? Only once, right? How many times head, tail, tail are there in this sample space? Only one time out of 8 events. Tail, tail, head is also where you have tail, tail, head, this event. When you toss this, you will get only one time out of 8 events. Plus, again probability of tail is also one time out of 8. So when you add all these, you will get 8 is an LCM. So 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. So 3 by 8 is the required probability of x2. That is 3 by 8. I will tabulate here. Next is probability x3. x3 is 2. So you have to calculate with reference to 2 heads. So you have to list an event where we have 2 heads. Fine. So 2 is with reference to second event, third event and fourth event. So here is the second event. Second, third and fourth. So these 3 are the events where we have 2 heads. That is probability of head, head, tail plus probability of head, tail, head plus probability of tail, head, head. So you can note that in all these 3 events you have head 2 times. So that is what I have. Now this probability is among the sample space, it is 1 by 8 times. Similarly, it is also 1 by 8 plus 1 by 8. So when you add all these 3, you will get, you just take LCM of this, you will get 8 here. So 3 by 8. Again it is 3 by 8. Now probability of x4. x4 is 3. That is 3 times head. Only event where we have 3 head is head, head, head. Right? So probability of head, head, head will be only one time out of 8 time. Fine. If you understand the concept of probability well, you can able to solve these problems easy. Otherwise, you may find difficult. So please go through the videos of probability. Fine. So once you calculated all the probability distribution, you just tabulate in this tabular column. So this is the required probability distribution. Now we have to verify whether this is a required probability distribution or not. As I already told you, when do we say a distribution is a required probability distribution? Only when it satisfies these two conditions, right? That is, probability of each and every event, probability of each and every random variable should be greater than or equal to 0, and when you're going to add all the probability distribution, that should be equal to 1. So let me verify by the definition. I'll just continue here. Fine. So as per the definition of probability, what we have, first condition is probability of xi should be greater than or equal to 0. Now let me check whether is it greater than or equal to 0. When you divide 1 by 8, obviously you will get 1, it is greater than 0. 3 by 8 is also greater than 0. Use calculator, and if you want, you can cross check. So when you divide 3 by 8 also, you will get positive value. 1 by 8 also, you will get greater than or equal to 0 only. Fine. Now second condition, let me verify. So what is the second condition we have? That is, we have to add all the probability distribution so that sum should be equal to 1. That is, probability of x1 plus probability of x2 plus probability of x3 plus probability of x4 should be equal to 1. Right. Now let me add probability of x1 is none other than probability of x1 is 1 by 8. Similarly, probability of x2 is 3 by 8. Probability of x3 is also 3 by 8, but x4 is 1 by 8. So let me add all this term. LCM is 8. So in the numerator you will get 1 plus 3 plus 3 plus 1. So 1 plus 1 is 2. 3 plus 3 is 6. 6 plus 2 is 8. So 8 by 8 is 1. Clearly probability, sum of the probability of a random variable is equal to 1. So as it satisfies these two conditions, we can say that it is a required probability distribution. Fine. Now this is only the first sub question. Why? Because in the first sub question they have asked us to find a discrete probability distribution. So this will be the required discrete probability distribution. Second thing is, we have to calculate mean and variance. Fine. So let me do the second problem. Second sub question. So we have to find mean and variance. First let me find the mean. As I already given a formula for mean, just copy down that. So mu is equal to, mean is given by mu is equal to summation I xi into p of xi. Just I have copied the formula as it is, xi into p of xi. Now xi is none other than random variable. How many random variables we have in this problem? 1, 2, 3, 4. So you have to put I right from 1 to 4. So first time you give I as 1. So x1 into p of x1 plus second 2, x2 into p of x2 plus x3 into p of x3 plus x4 into p of x4. Why? Because we have only 4 variables. Suppose if you have one more variable, you have to write xy into p of xy. Fine. Hope so what I did, it is clear for you. Now let me substitute the values. Now x1 is none other than, what is the value of x1 here? I just refer the table. X1 value is 0. 0 into, what is the value of probability of x1? 1 by 8. Fine. Plus x2 is 1. 1 into probability of x2 is 3 by 8 plus x3 is 2 into probability of x3 is 3 by 8 plus x4 is 3 into probability of x4 is 1 by 8. Fine. Now let me simplify. 0 into anything will be 0 plus 1 into 3 by 8 is 3 by 8 plus 2 ones are 2 twos are. Either you can do like that, or else since you have 8 in the denominator, no, so it is easy to take LCM. So let me keep this as it is. 2 3s are 6 divided by 8 plus 3 ones are 3 divided by 8. Now 8 is an LCM, so you will get 3 plus 6 plus 3. Fine. So 6 plus 3 is 9, 9 plus 3 is 12. So you will get 12 by 8 here. Again on simplification, 2 4s are 8, 2 6 are 12. Again 2 2s are 4. 2 3s are 6. So you will get 3 by 2. Therefore the required mean is, mean mu is equal to 3 by 2. Clear? Now what else we require to calculate is, I have already done mean, we have to calculate variance. Fine. I'll just do here. Variance V. What is the formula for variance V? As I already given in the list, variance V is given by, see here, variance V is equal to, I'll just copy the formula, xi minus mu square into p of xi. Just I have copied the formula. Fine. Now let me substitute the values. Summation I xi I'll just keep as it is for the instant. Mu is none other than, it is mean. So minus mu is 3 by 2 whole square into p of xi. Xi is none other than number of random variables. How many random variables we have in this problem? 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have to put 4 times. I value you have to put 4 times. So I'll just do it here. So I can write this as variance v is equal to, you first, for the first time you give it I as 1, so you will get 1 minus 3 by 2 whole square into p of x1, plus, remember when you have summation, it is meaning is sum, so you have to add the values. Next I is equal to 2, x2 minus 3 by 2 whole square into p of x2, plus x3 minus 3 by 2 whole square into p of x3. Next 4 times, right? So x4 minus 3 by 2 whole square into p of x4. Clear? Hope so whatever I have done, it is clear for you. Why? Because we have 4 random variables in this problem, so you have to take I values right from 1 to 4. So that is what I have done. Now let me substitute the values. So I'll just simplify here. So v is equal to, what is the value of x1, as we already calculated in a random distribution. See here, this is what we have done, right? So x1 value is 0. 0 minus 3 by 2 as it is whole square into probability of x1. What is the probability of x1? It is 1 by 8. Fine. Plus x2 is 1 minus 3 by 2 whole square into probability of x2 is 3 by 8. Plus next x3. x3 is 2 minus 3 by 2 whole square into probability of x3 is 3 by 8. Plus x4 is 3 minus 3 by 2 whole square into probability of x4 is 1 by 8. Fine. Now let me simplify this. So you will get 0 minus 3 by 2 whole square. So minus square is plus, 3 square will become 9, 2 square will become 4. So you will get 9 by 4 here, 9 by 4 into 1 by 8. Plus, let me simplify 1 minus 3 by 2. So let me take LCM. You will get 2 here. 2 minus 3 is 1. 1 by 2 whole square you will get. 1 by 2 whole square will be 1 by 4 into 3 by 8. Since you have to manage the time well, so you have to simplify and reduce the steps as much as possible. So 2 LCM, 2 2s are 4. 4 minus 3 is 1. 1 by 2 whole square you will get. So 1 by 2 whole square will be 1 by 4 into 3 by 8. Plus, again 2 is an LCM, 2 3 is a 6, 6 minus 3 is 3. So you will get 3 by 2 whole square here. 3 by 2 whole square is, 3 square is 9, 4, 2 square is 4. So 9 by 4 into 1 by 8. Clear? Now let me simplify further. So let multiplication, 9 into 1 is 9, 8 into 4, 32, plus 1 into 3, 3, 8 into 4 is 32, plus 1 into 3, 3, 4 into 8 is 32, plus 9 into 1, 9, 4 into 2, 32. So let me simplify. LCM is 32. So you will get 9 plus 3 plus 3 plus 9. Fine. So when you add all this, you will get 24 divided by 32. 9 plus 9 is 18. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So 24 by 32. Variance V is equal to 24 by 32. Hope so it is clear. I'll just give a glance here. See here, this is the first page where we required to find the discrete probability distribution. So as I already told you, first write on the sample space and list random variables and write on the probability distribution. Then find all the probabilities of event and make a tabulation in the table, and then verify the condition. That is, first condition, all the values should be greater than 0. What are the probability values you have to you have already calculated, you check whether they are greater than or equal to 0 or not. Second condition, you had all these values, you should get 1. So if it satisfies, this will be the required probability distribution. And in the second question, they have asked you to find mean and variance. So here I have calculated mean. Next is variance. I have used this formula as already given in the formula list. So here I have done a simplification. So hope so it is clear. Now let me solve one more problem. So here is the second problem. A coin is tossed twice. A random variable x represents the number of heads turning up. Find the discrete probability distribution. Also find mean and variance. So similar to the previous problem, as I already told you, first step is you have to write down the sample space. Fine. Solution. So here coin is tossed twice. So as I already told you, when a coin is tossed twice, see. So in the note point, I hope so you have already written. So when a coin is tossed twice, sample space will be head, 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 tail, tail, head, tail, tail. Fine. Now let me write the random variable. Random variable x represents the number of heads turning up. Is same as getting a head. Fine. So number of heads turning up. Fine, number of heads turning up. Now let me write down the make a list of all the random variables here. So what is the number of heads here? 1, 2. Similarly here also 1. In the second 1. In the third event we don't have number of variables. Number of heads is 0. So random variable is 0, 1, 2. Follow the same procedure so that it is very easy to memorize the method. So next is draw the probability distribution. So xi, x is none other than xi, right? And respective probabilities of x. So it is 0, 1, 2. As I already told you, now we have to find all the probabilities. That is probability when x is equal to 0, right? That is x is 0 is none other than no heads. Probability of x is 0 is none other than no head. So when do we have x as 0? It is for tail. When we have both are tail, so it is 0. It is none other than probability of tail. So what is the probability of getting tail in this? What is the total outcomes here? 1, 2, 3, 4. So total outcomes is 4. Out of 4, tail is only possibility is 1. So it is 1 by 4. Similarly, probability of x is equal to 1. X is 1 is none other than 1 head. 1 head is none other than how many events we have? 2 events, right? That is probability of head tail plus probability of tail head. Why? Because in both the events we have head only once. So probability of getting head tail in this is 1 time out of 4 times. Similarly, tail head is 1 time out of 4 times. So when you add, you will get 4. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 ones are 2 twos are. So you will get 1 by 2. Therefore, probability of x is 1 is 1 by 2. Similarly, probability of x is 0 is 1 by 4. Clearly, let me solve probability of x is equal to 2. In the sense, 2 times head. So 2 times head is none other than only event is head, right? Probability of head. How many times you are going to get head? It is 1 times out of 4 times. Whereas in the previous problem where we have 8 sets, that is total outcomes is 8. So we are writing 1 by 8 there. So here only 4 possibilities. So that is by 1 by 4. Clear? So this is the required probability distribution. Now as I already told you, we have to check whether it is satisfying the conditions or not. As per the definition, first condition is P of xi should be greater than or equal to 0, right? You just see here 1 by 4 is also greater than 0, 1 by 2 is also greater than or equal to 0, 1 by 4 is also greater than or equal to 0. So first condition is obviously satisfying. Second condition, we have to add all these possibilities, probability value, that is I is equal to 1 to how many events are there? It is x1, x2, x3. So I is equal to 1 to 3 P of xi. In the sense, probability of x1 plus probability of x2 plus probability of x3. You have to add all these events. So probability of x1 is none other than 1 by 4 plus probability of x2 is 1 by 2. Probability of x3 is 1 by 4. Fine. So let me add all these values. LCM is again 4. So in the numerator also you will get 4. 4 by 4 is 1. Fine. So you just take the LCM and simplify. You will get 1. So as it satisfies both the condition, therefore this is a required probability distribution. Now again we have one more question. Discrete probability distribution is over. Next also find mean and variance. As I already told you, you have to use the formula for mean and variance. Now let me solve here. So I'll just do here. Second one is we have to find mean. So as I already given, what is the formula to calculate the mean? Go through the formula list. It is mu is equal to summation over I xi into probability of xi. Fine. So let me substitute. Mu is equal to I is none other than number of events here, x1, x2, x3. So 3 events are there. You have to write it 3 times. So x1 into probability of x1 plus x2 into probability of x2 plus x3 into probability of x3. Fine. So mu is equal to x1 is none other than 0. 0 into probability of x1 is 1 by 4 plus x2 is 1 into probability of x2 is 1 by 2 plus x3 is 2 into probability of x3 is 1 by 4. Fine. Now 0 into anything will be 0. So this term will not be there. 1 into 1 by 2 is 1 by 2. Again 2 ones are 2 twos are. So we will get 1 by 2 here. So let me add 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2 is 1. Therefore the mean in this problem is 1. Next what we need to calculate is, in the problem mean we have already done. We have to calculate variance. So let me calculate variance. I'll just do here variance. So write down the formula for variance. Variance V is equal to, what is the formula to calculate the variance? It is summation xi minus mu square into probability of xi, that is I. Fine. Now let me substitute here. So it is none other than variance V is equal to summation over I xi minus mu is none other than variance here. I'm sorry, mu is none other than mean. Here it is 1 square into probability of xi. So I should be ranging from 1 to 3 as we have 3 events. So for the first time, let me give it as 1. So I'll just write from here. Variance will be x1 minus 1 square into probability of x1. As you have summation sign, you have to put plus here. Plus x2 minus 1 square into probability of x2 plus x3 minus, here 1 will not be changed. Why? Because mu is 1 there, into p of x3. Clear? Now let me substitute the values. V1 is equal to, what is the value of x1 here? It is 0. So 0 minus 1 square into probability of x1. Probability of x1 here is 1 by 4. So you just substitute 1 by 4 here. Plus x2 here is, x2 is 1. 1 minus 1 square into probability of x2 is 1 by 2. Plus x3 is 2. 2 minus 1 square into probability of x3 is 1 by 4. Now let me simplify. 0 minus 1 is 1. Minus 1. So minus 1 square is 1. 1 into 1 by 4 is 1 by 4 only. Plus 1 minus 1 is 0. So 0 into anything will be 0. This term will not be there. I'll just write 0 there. 2 minus 1 is 1. 1 square is 1. 1 into 1 by 4 is again 1 by 4. As you are science students, it may not difficult for you to simplify directly. Anyhow, I'll write steps. So 1 by 4 plus 1 by 4 will be, take 4 as an LCM. So in the numerator you will get 1 plus 1, it is 2. 2 ones are 2 twos are. So the required variance here is 1 by 2. Clear? I'll just write here variance V is equal to 1 by 2. Fine. Same procedure, nothing else. You have to calculate the probability distribution of a random variable and make sure whether they are satisfying these two conditions. These two conditions you have to mention there. Fine. Afterwards, use the formula to find mean and variance and simplify it. So this is the first page. You just take a screenshot and copy down, and this will be the second page. Hope so it is clear. So in the next session, I'll be continuing the problems based on the same concept. Hope so whatever I have done, it is clear for you. Further, if you have any queries, you can free to ask me. Thank you. Continue in the next session.